were you on Sunday, August 18th, 1991? Most people don't remember. But did you know that Warren Buffett, one of the world's wealthiest persons, calls this day the most important day of his life? So what happened that day? Let's back up a few years. In 1987, Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, became the single largest shareholder in a New York investment bank called Salomon Brothers, Inc. However, in 1990, Salomon became embroiled in an illegal trading scandal that put the company in a state of crisis. Because of this scandal, on the morning of August 18th, 1991, the U.S. Treasury banned Salomon from bidding in government securities auctions. This not only would have resulted in certain bankruptcy for Salomon, but a potential $9 billion loss for Berkshire Hathaway and potentially shockwaves that could have resulted in instability in the world's financial systems. For the next several hours after that Sunday morning announcement, Mr. Buffett scrambled to do everything in his power to get the U.S. Treasury to rescind the ban. But Mr. Buffett had decades under his belt of building a reputation as a sharp and, more importantly, ethical businessman. For the next several hours after that Sunday morning announcement, Mr. Buffett scrambled to do everything in his power to get the U.S. Treasury to rescind the ban, warning of the dire worldwide consequences of Salomon's failure and promising to take charge himself to right the ship. A mere 4 hours after the ban was announced, a press conference was held to announce the ban had been lifted. Buffett eloquently fielded questions from the press for over 2 hours, including how he would manage businesses in both Omaha and New York, to which he employed a humorous response that his mother had sewn his name in his underwear, so he'd be all right. It worked. Trust that Buffett could right the ship, stop the panic, and save the investment. With a net worth of over $100 billion and decades of solid business dealings, including the miraculous turnaround of Salomon Inc., Buffett has a reputation that is unmatched in modern business. But walk into his office in Omaha, Nebraska, and you won't find his Columbia Business School or even his University of Nebraska college degree, which he obtained at the age of 19. On display is a single certificate for the Dale Carnegie course in effective speaking, leadership training, and the art of winning friends and influencing people. Buffett explained in a recent documentary the profound impact this course had on his life, stating that without it, his whole life would have been different, including on that Sunday in 1991. Dale Carnegie built his career, including courses like the one that changed Warren Buffett's life and best-selling books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, on the idea that confidence and charisma positively impact a person's career. In other words, Carnegie knew that being likable impacts one's career equally, if not more, than business acuity alone. Nowhere in business is this more important than in customer service. If your customer does not like you as a person, your customer is far more likely to reject your product or service. No pressure, right? So let's start our discussion on likability by asking a simple question. Why was Dale Carnegie so successful in what he did? How was he able to influence millions, including Warren Buffett, and sell millions of copies of his books? Carnegie succeeded, and many others after him, because, contrary to intuition and conventional wisdom, likability can be learned. You may not be born with natural charm, but you absolutely can study and learn it. Over the next several sessions, I want to discuss several principles of likability that will help improve our appeal to customers, whether internal or external. These topics will include the following: taking a genuine, active interest in others, being honest without being critical, balancing confidence with humility, and utilizing speech and body language that convey appropriate messaging. Let's start today with the principle of taking a genuine, active interest in others. Carnegie's best-selling book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, sums it up well. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Neuroscientists have actually been able to explain the science behind this principle. When observing brain activity using magnetic resonance imaging, it was observed that the area of our brain that is associated with reward is activated when we talk about ourselves. Allowing others to talk about themselves is the mental equivalent of giving them a box of donuts. Hold the calories. Here are a few practical tips for how you can give others the opportunity to enjoy talking about themselves. 1. Ask good questions that allow people to answer without a simple yes, no, or a one-word answer. 2. Be an active listener. Process what they are saying without being distracted, including thinking up your next response. Ask follow-up questions that show your interest and draw out people's ambitions, motivations, or emotions. 3. Try to find common ground with the other person. If you share a passion for something, it is easier to convey genuine interest and respond with meaningful feedback. But don't try too hard to find common ground where it doesn't exist. 4. Be mindful of your expression and body language. Your expression should match the tone of their story. If the person is telling a story that is informative, happy, or funny, you cannot go wrong with a genuine smile. But a smile won't work for every situation. If the story is sad or one of frustration, make sure your facial expression conveys empathy. 5. Maintain eye contact. Don't constantly look around the room, and never look at an electronic device unless it's absolutely necessary, and only then after explaining to the other person why you are stopping to look at your device. 6. Use their name. Carnegie said that a person's name is the sweetest and most important sound in any language to a person. If you are meeting a person for the first time, this is a great opportunity to confirm you heard their name correctly and help yourself remember it for the future. 7. Finally, don't be afraid to take and keep notes after, not during, you have had a conversation with a customer. Review those notes prior to the next time you see them and ask a follow-up question related to what they have shared. Likeability can be learned, but step 1 isn't to learn to tell the best story. It's about learning to listen and draw out a good story from others. Maya Angelou said there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. Give your customers the gift of allowing them to tell their story. Until next time, thank you.